An announcement first for the speakers who are going to come up next. If you have not been informed yet, please approach the counter out there, and if you're going to make a presentation on your laptops or notebooks, coordinate with the counter out there and they'll help you about how to go about the presentation. There's another announcement. You're kindly requested to ask in the counter outside. With this, we start the next session of this morning's program. It's been titled Unlocking Value from Data, Scenarios from Verticals. A question that crops up: can perspective analytics address FMCG growth of challenges? To answer this question, I call upon Mr. Arindam Som, Global Brand Director, Unilever, Singapore. A few words about Mr. Arindam Som. Mr. Arindam Som is the Global Brand Director, Unilever. He has been with Unilever for 12 years. Previous to that, he has been associated with the India market research industry. Within Unilever, he has spent about 8 years in practicing consumer and market insights for FMCG categories globally, and about 4 years in exploring and landing new innovations and alternate business models for disruptive growth in emerging countries. Throughout his career, he has been an enthusiast of quantitative research, including advanced multivariate statistical approaches to solve for complex brand and business-related issues. He is a great admirer of the amazing evolution of predictive analytics and big data applications over the last few years, and is keen to apply them as a foundation for the contemporary marketing thinking in business. Arindam has worked across Europe, Southeast Asia, and South Asia, and is currently employed with Unilever, Singapore. I welcome Mr. Arindam Som to make the presentation.
Hi, so I'm Arindam, and I'm actually a Bengali from Calcutta, so it's coming back home for me, and it's a great honor for me to be speaking among such luminaries. I don't actually deserve all this, kind of recognition which the individual actually talked about me. It's just a small thing that I am actually an enthusiast of big data and predictive analytics, and I have been somehow connected through my profession of practicing insights in FMCG and in Unilever. And it's an honor that the Data Science Foundation is actually approaching individuals like us to talk among experts like you. And I really feel acknowledged. It's a privilege to be talking in front of you guys. So I'll talk about FMCG, and I'll talk about the basic product categories like soaps, shampoos, and cleaners. It's nothing like the smart cities which we have been hearing about till now. So that's the thing. So it's about actually coming back to the ground in that context. Hopefully there would be some questions at the end of it. I would like to receive all those questions and try to answer them in as much as capacity as I can. So hope this works. Somebody has to click there then. Okay, hope it's visible. So, I mean, in our world, what is happening is we are going through a bit of a stagnation for the last few years. And so this is about, I'm talking about the FMCG world. And this is where the big question is that as we see now that there is a big desire for growth, especially among the multinational corporations and the global corporations. And what we desired in the last 5 years, that there would be amazing growth which will come from the emerging countries, and that will cover up for the developed world's stagnation. However, what we have seen, and you would see in the two graphs, which is there towards your left-hand side, both in whether it's Europe or it's like APAC, what is happening is there's a tremendous slowdown which is happening of the basic FMCG categories. And there are various reasons, but one of the bigger reasons is that big multinational corporations are not being able to innovate to the extent it is required for the emerging world consumers. Because what we actually do is we actually increase efficiency in by bringing in and rolling out global products. Yeah, that's how we do it. And in the last 2-3 years, what we have seen across, let's say, Unilever or even Reckitt's or Procter's, what we are seeing is that the emerging world consumer is quite different. And if we just try to roll out the global products, it's not happening. And that's probably one of the bigger reasons that why there is a stagnation in the FMCG industry. So it's on us, therefore, to reverse that growth, and therefore that's an opportunity. Yeah. So the other thing which is increasingly dawning upon us that over a period of time we've built FMCG growth by inducing loyalty. Yeah. So currently what people use, we ask them to use more. And as a result, they move from substitute products and come to branded products. What is more and more coming out in there's a famous book which has come out which is called How Brands Grow by Byron Sharp. And what it is saying is that growth, whether it's developed world or the emerging world, will only come from new customer acquisitions or new consumer who can become new users. And as a result, what we see is that the challenge which we have due to stagnation in FMCG is actually compounded, because what you now need is actually convert today's emerging world's non-branded users to actually branded product users. Yeah, so that's an even bigger challenge, and that has actually come through quite a lot of evidences which you see towards that chart in the right-hand side, which says that all growth which has come in the last 10-15 years has been only made possible if there is a growth in penetration. And whoever has targeted such as loyalty or generally upgradation or benefit acquisitions, those things haven't really worked. So basically it's back to the basics for marketing for us. That is, how do you find new people to actually use our products? And if that happens, probably the stagnation which we see of FMCG, whether it's the developed world or the emerging world, will probably be reversed and will come back to the growth curve. So that's the bigger context in which I thought I will address this forum. So it's a bit cluttered, but the chart towards your left-hand side is a typical Unilever innovation development framework. Yeah, obviously I've kept it small so that it's not completely be read, because that's a bit confidential. However, the point is that we do a lot of researches, market researches. Yeah. So we actually, while we develop products and propositions and communications, we actually go out and survey people and do a lot of market researches. And that's the way we try to see whether we can have winning propositions or winning products or winning communications, and as a result, get new users, and as a result, get new growth. That's the way we've done it. However, in the increasing world of evolving analytics, one of the major things which has come about in Unilever and probably across other organizations is to actually take big sums of market data and do modeling on those data. As a result, what we have now is a thing called MMM, which we call it as market mix modeling. However, that market mix modeling happens with actually the data it happens with the data when the innovations are launched in the market. For example, all this market mix modeling is happening with television data or market share data or penetration data or loyalty data. That is basically what is happening in the market post the launches of these innovations. However, if we have to really change the growth trajectory, that is actually get out from that stagnation, get to new users, get to new kinds of propositions and new products and all that. What we desire is how can predictive analytics actually inspire product development or inspire new product, new proposition, new communication development, rather than coming at the end and saying that how much of investment should be there in let's say a promotion, or should be there in communication, or should be there in other kinds of stuff. Yeah, so that's more evaluative. What we need analytics to address is how can we actually develop products for the emerging countries to get back to the growth curve and to have new users. Yeah, so that's the big challenge. So my therefore request to all the experts sitting here is, please help the FMCG industry or us to actually get to the new growth which we desire, rather than only diagnosing the performance. Yeah, and that's why I built this part, that is, how can analytics be in the front end of the funnel, rather than analytics actually trying to measure the market and doing market mix media modeling. So so what we thought is, of course we have 15 minutes time, and I'll try to, so we in FMCG basically we talk about the 6 P's, right? The proposition, the product, pack, price, promotion, and place. These are the 6 levers through which we try to deliver growth, consumption, or whatever it is. So while practicing insights and very recently innovations as well in Unilever, I have found that all these 6 levers can be addressed in a new fashion. Yeah, and I think that analytics can help in a big way to actually deliver this, especially among these 6 levers. So today I'll just talk about proposition, product, and promotion, and I'll try to raise these questions, and I'll leave to the forum to see what kind of brainstorming is possible. So first is proposition. Proposition means basically, you know, concept and communication, what you tell to the consumer. Yeah. What again the new contemporary marketing theories are saying is that proposition, the key to growth for proposition is not about making cut through advertising, which you see always in TV, but to form long-term brand associations. Yeah. So what do long-term brand associations mean? Basically, for example, we have a brand like Coca-Cola, which stands for happiness, and over a large 50 years, how can the brand stand for happiness? Yeah, just stand for happiness and associations of happiness, rather than saying how perfect is my advertising, which comes let's say next year. Yeah, so that's the thing, and this is now proven through psychology and neuroscience that the consumer purchase happens much more profitably and sustainably if the consumer grows an association of the brand, rather than hoping that the consumer will purchase due to a great advertising on TV which he has listened to or watched 1 month ago. Yeah, because that's not how brands work. And that's proven in this book, and it's about 50 years of data of Ehrenberg Bass Institute, which has proven that. So as a result, the new marketing order says that it's important that we forget about the USPs, the unique selling propositions, but actually grow the relevant brand associations. It's not about persuasion through advertising, but it's about refreshing and building memory structures. Yeah. So and as soon as you hear the memory structures, I'm sure you understand the long-lasting impressions which you feel the brand should create. And this is one of the evidences which we have for one of our global brands, Domestos. In India, it's called Domex, but overall Domestos, actually running the same advertising since about 2005 till 2010. What happens is that our the so-called awareness index, which is a great indicator for purchase, actually just quadrupled. Yeah, just running the same advertising, which basically means that we didn't really need new news through advertising, but sustaining the kind of associations which we built through the brand from 2005 till 2010 actually quadrupled our sales in the UK. So there's a UK chart. So basically it's that. So how can analytics help? Yeah, so one of my question is that, let's say we have 10 years of brand association data, yeah, 10 years of brand equity data, and 10 years of sales and purchase data. Yeah, so instead of going on measuring communication year after year, why can't analytics actually come and help in terms of telling what are those brand associations of a particular brand of Unilever's, and how can we just stick to them and actually make sure that therefore our purchase and sales continue and new growth happens, yeah, or new customer acquisitions happen. So that's one of the I think opportunities for analytics to address, is to say what are those long-term associations of a particular brand which will make it sustain for the next 100 years, and that's about big data. Next is about product. What we are increasingly seeing, and I suppose I alluded it in the first few minutes, one of the reasons why FMCG is stagnating even in the emerging countries, including India, is like many of our MNCs are actually not addressing the real problems of the consumers in, for example, India or a China or a Brazil or a Mexico. Yeah. So the developed world has an idea of a problem, of a consumer problem, and that is where, let's say 40, 50 years ago, a global product has been formed, and that is what we are now trying to, through the same product, we are trying to address the emerging world's consumers. However, what we are not understanding is that the usage of the products in this ecosystem is extremely different. Yeah, and I wanted to show it through a video here. And can you just click on this? Yeah, and make it full view, and sound.
Frugal innovations is to hunt for those big unvoiced problems of the consumer. For example, people who cook with LPG have just normal grease in their dishes. Billions of people in South Asia and Africa cook with wood or coal. They end up having burnt on grease and even soot in their aluminium vessels. They need abrasion to clean. They repurpose ash, laundry powder and polythene wrappers. She would say, these problems are a given. It's the way I live. I can manage with what I have.
So basically, there's another one which is in the other part towards your left hand side. It says basically the whole world in the context of toilets focuses on lime scale and germs, whereas the major consumer problem in the emerging countries is about malodor. Yeah. So same with the dishwash. Basically, Indians face a lot of soot and burnt on stains. However, the global products address a thing called grease. Yeah. Which is more of a Western world problem. So these are some of the problems which we see as the gaps in the market, and as a result, global products which are designed with the knowledge of product drivers across the world need to be relooked into. So towards your right hand side, I've put that question actually, saying that so those are the typical charts of product drivers which are there in the which we practice in FMCG. However, what is happening, what we should do is to redraw the drivers to design for future products of the emerging world. Yeah. Now, how can we do that? Again, let's say we have 10 years of product test and technical tests data from the emerging countries. We have that. So if somebody actually gets an access to it and actually tries to get insights into it and redraw the product drivers, we'll probably end up with products which are not the familiar products of the Western world. So that's the way to, again, we are thinking that as a result, we can come to new products which can, again, propel growth in the FMCG industry. So the other one is, of course, like quite well known, and this is the evolving world of media. The media consumption is extremely changing, and it's extremely changing at a fast rate in countries like India and lots of emerging world countries. There's overlapping media consumption, which basically means while you watch TV, you also are accessing your mobile and Facebook and like Google search or whatever it is. And on top, what you see is basically all the internet stuff which is happening, especially in countries like Nigeria and India. It's all happening through the mobile. Yeah. So actually across countries, and there is a USA over there as well, but India is the mobile percentage of the total internet traffic by country India is the second largest in the world now. Just Nigeria is top above it. So what is happening is basically, and you can see how even the flat screen TV and the video viewing is changing to something which is much more vertical through your mobile. You can also see how actually hours per day of consumption, of media consumption, is increasing. Yeah, so it's not only about taking share from TV, but getting onto different other media, and the overall pie is also increasing. So therefore what is happening is it's a very complex world of media consumption which is happening, and media planners should actually therefore rise up to this occasion. This is a brilliant opportunity to actually have cross media planning and actually identify the role of each media. For example, TV must be still about appointment viewing, but maybe mobile is for about reading familiar stories. So how does a brand actually create assets which is not about only the 30-second advertising, but is also about creating stories for a Facebook in which the brand is an enabler. So therefore what is happening is, if cross-media data, single source data is actually available, and which would be in large sums and which would be a dynamic kind of a data, how can the analytics world actually change the way media planning is done and media investments is done today? Because a lot of things are being done through assumptions, and the traditional world assumptions of reach, awareness, and trials. Yeah. So these are the three things which I thought I'll address. Yeah. So if you have any questions, you can let me know. Yeah, sorry. Oh, so maybe I'll address this first. Yeah.
We talk about the percentage traffic of the internet. Do we have the exact quantification of the numbers?
Yeah, we have. Yeah. So you'll find there is a KPMG trends actually study which has come out in 2015 only. The numbers are quantified over there. Yeah, it's there. So India's unique position is it is adding the most number of internet traffic through mobile, and that is the highest in the country, highest in the world. So it is adding the most number of users. So the growth rate is highest, not in terms of absolute still. So that's your bigger chance, or the bigger chance to act on. Yeah.
Mike. When I see the apparel market, so apparel industry, so there is a effort to keep the loyal customers. But how FMCG is different from an apparel industry where the penetration versus loyalty, so it is a balanced, or how do you visualize it?
So I keep it simple. So basically, loyalty is a market phenomena or a brand phenomena. That is what it is. So big brands will have X percentage of loyalty. Smaller brands will have X minus delta X kind of loyalty. Yeah. So the loyalty actually doesn't differ much. What differs is penetration. Yeah, or the user base. So increasingly, what contemporary marketing is saying, that even if it's like for apparels, it's very important to get new users to this so-called apparel brands. Yeah. So for example, there is a great revolution which is happening within India with the Sabyasachis of the world, who's actually getting a lot of users back into into the traditional Indian dresses. Yeah. So that's about creating aspiration of Indian brands, and there's another brand I know it's coming up now, which is called Indian Roots. It's all about getting therefore new customer acquisitions through new benefit explorations. Yeah. So that's how. So loyalty is something which people say is more of a brand marketing phenomena, and loyalty programs don't do much.
Thank you.
So with that, I think we'll close it here and welcome the next speaker. Right. Thank you.